So, I just wanted to get on here and share my experience that I had with COVID. Um, I was hospitalized on the 27th of December. I am asthmatic, so I was having a hard time breathing, and my chest was real tight. I couldn't walk up the stairs at all. Once I um, started coughing and things, I was still working at the time. My boss ended up sending me home on the 27th because my cough was so bad. Um, I got home, walked up the steps. I couldn't breathe when I got to the top of the steps, so I got on my nebulizer treatment and it wasn't working. I took like 2 or 3 of those. Um, I also took my inhaler. That wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, let me get in the shower, see if that helps at all. And it didn't. As soon as I got in the shower and the hot air hit me, I knew I was gonna pass out. So I got out the shower, told my boyfriend like call 911. I can't breathe. The EMTs came. Um, Hold on, let me sit up because this is kind of irritating holding my phone like this. But so the EMTs came and they tried to carry me down the stairs. I was nervous for them to carry me down the stairs, so I told them that I would walk, which was a bad idea. I got to the bottom of the steps. As soon as I got to the bottom of the steps, my heart dropped. All I remember is looking at the EMT and telling them, don't let me die. Please don't let me die. And as soon as I got on the stretcher, I passed out. I was asleep all the way from that. This happened at like 1:30 in the morning. I was asleep until like 4:30 the next afternoon. Then once I woke up, the doctors came in. They told me that I had went into respiratory failure. Scariest thing ever, because I didn't feel a thing. I didn't know what happened to me. Nothing. They did tell me that I was in respiratory failure. They said my oxygen levels dropped down to about 71. I was blue when I got to the hospital. By the time I got to the hospital, they were getting ready to incubate me, which is when they put the tube down your throat to help you breathe. They were about to do that, and I grabbed the nurse. In my sleep, I must have been like fighting it or something, and I grabbed the nurse, and she said that I was still there, so she did not ventilate me. They did put me on a BiPAP for 3 days. That day that I woke up, they told me that, you know, if I wouldn't have came to the hospital when I did, I probably, wouldn't have made it. They did test me for COVID when I was in the hospital during that week, and it came back negative. Okay. I was put on the COVID floor. They kept me on the COVID floor the entire time. So from the 27th to the 2nd. My oxygen levels were still pretty low. I typically range between 97 and 98% when I'm healthy. So when I was released from the hospital on the 2nd, like I said, I tested negative for COVID. They told me I had community-acquired pneumonia, and with my asthma, with the asthma and me not being able to breathe because of the asthma and the pneumonia, my body I had CO2 poisoning, so I wasn't able to exchange the oxygen with the carbon dioxide. So I was basically suffocating myself from the inside out. So I did get better. Um, I went home. I was COVID free. I tested negative. So I was home quarantining, or no, I didn't quarantine yet. They put me on 5 days of antibiotics. Told me I could return to work after my 5 days antibiotics. So I did that. On the 8th, I went back to work. On the 10th, I woke up with a sore throat. I had a sore throat for 2 days. That second day with the sore throat at night, I started getting real bad, like body pains. My feet and my hands were cramping so bad. I had a headache. My eyes felt like they were swollen. I didn't have any breathing issues yet, but I was thinking the entire time, like, okay, this is effects from the pneumonia. So I really didn't think too much of it. Um, I did have some stomach problems. Um, I didn't have vomiting or anything. It was really just the body aches. I had the fever, my fever. By the time I got a thermometer, my temperature was 101.8. I know it had been higher than that the previous 2 days because of how I was feeling. Um, so on the 15th, I was with one of my friends and she was showing me candles and things like that. And I could not smell these candles. So when that happened, I knew off top, like, okay, I need to go get tested. I smelled everything in the house that I could possibly try to smell. I could not smell anything. So by this time, though, I was still getting like hot flashes, sweating a lot. I sweat a lot during the symptoms. I sweat so much. I would wake up and literally be drenched. My hair would be like soaking wet. Um, the body aches just sucked. So, but on the 15th, I knew once I couldn't smell that, okay, I probably have COVID. Um, sorry. So, I go to CVS, I get a rapid test done. They call me 10 minutes later, tell me that I tested positive for COVID. Told me that because of my asthma and because of the respiratory failure 2 weeks prior, that, to keep an eye on my oxygen levels, to, get rest, get fluids, all that stuff, basically just go into quarantine. So I started quarantining on the 15th. Um, the symptoms only lasted until about the 18th. I broke my fever on the 18th. No, on the 16th, I broke my fever. So I hadn't had a fever from the 16th to the, when did I come to the hospital? Today's the 23rd. I came in on the 21st. So from the 18th to the 21st, I didn't have a temperature. And they told me, after 3 days of not having a temperature, without the use of Tylenol, like, you're pretty much good. So I thought I was good. And then on the 21st, I woke up and I couldn't breathe again. Did the nebulizer, did the inhaler, didn't work. I knew I had to catch it before what happened before happened. So I came to the hospital. My oxygen levels were low. They were at like a 87. I told them that I did test positive for COVID on the 15th. So the thing is I feel like if you don't have to come to the hospital, do not come to the hospital. Of course, I had to because I went into respiratory failure because of the pneumonia and my asthma, but I did not have COVID at the time. I acquired COVID from the hospital, um, and there's nothing you could do about it if you catch COVID in the hospital. They have like immunity. where they can't get in trouble if you catch COVID in the hospital. So it's kind of like there's nothing for anybody to do about it. Like it's just you catch it and that's it. Um, it has been very scary. Um, I was told that what I was told by the doctor was I have real COVID. And so I'm like, okay, well, what is fake COVID? And fake COVID is anyone who doesn't have any underlying issues like asthma or any respiratory issues. Uh, they just get the mild case of COVID where they have the fevers and the chills and the body aches and the fever until it goes away. And then they're good. But that wasn't the case for me. Well, because I'm asthmatic, it put me into phase 2 of COVID, which is what I'm battling now with the viral pneumonia. So I have ground glass, what they call ground glass in my chest x-rays. And so they're saying that that is from the COVID. They had me on oxygen up until last night. They gave me Resivir, which is an antiviral medication that they're using to treat COVID. They said I responded very well to it. My oxygen levels are now at a 97 without oxygen, so that's very good. But I still have like a heaviness in my chest. I have like a cough. I feel weak sometimes. Sometimes I feel fine, and sometimes I feel completely weak. But I'm getting better. Yesterday, I was kind of, you know, felt doomed. Um, and I didn't believe that part of COVID, but the mental aspect of it is real. You're alone constantly. You are confined, and it does mess with your thought, like the way you think. Like you just feel so alone and so doomed, and it's almost as if in your mind you're preparing like to not make it, you know? And it sucks to say that, but those are feelings that I did have, which you just kind of have to keep yourself out of that state of mind. You have to just stay positive. Um, you know, you don't want to give up. And I almost felt like I was going to give up. But I did improve, and I'm still working on getting better. I probably won't be released from the hospital until after or on New Year's or after New Year's, depending on how well I respond to the rest of the treatments from the Resivir. But I wanted to make this video so that people would have an idea of what happens, because you hear a lot about people getting COVID and getting better and them saying that it's not that bad. Yes, the first initial phase of the COVID was not that bad. It felt like the flu, maybe times 2. But I felt better after that. And just because you feel better does not mean that you're 100% good, because I had to learn that the hard way. And now it's been a month of me back and forth in the hospital trying to better myself and be strong and try to fight this. Yes, I've broke down and cried. It's very emotional not knowing something that is affecting people in such a major way. But I just wanted to let everybody know, like, this is real. Like, this is not a joke. People are dying from this, and it's not easy to hear that um, you don't have control over it. That you just have to let your body run its course. So anybody that has any underlying issues, and people that don't have any underlying issues, just be careful. You know, wear your mask, make sure you guys are sanitizing. How I caught it is like so crazy. Like it had to been the smallest kind of contamination. Like the smallest kind. I was in a hospital and confined in a room. I had no access to nobody. The nurses came in with their gowns and everything and suited and booted and everything, and I still caught it. And it's not fun at all. It's scary. Um, so please, take care of yourselves and make sure you're taking any necessary precautions to protect yourself. I'm starting to shake a little bit, but because this is real. Yes, I'm improving. Yes, they say I'm going to be okay by the grace of God, because there's no treatment for this. Yes, they can give me anti-inflammatories to calm the inflammation and, try to make me better. But in all actuality, there is no real, way to say, yeah, you're going to beat it, because you don't know. I could be released on New Year's and still have complications from this. I don't know the extent of the damage that's been done to my lungs. I don't know the extension to what I'm going to have to deal with after this. I'm only 30 years old, and now I don't know how I have to live the rest of my life or what kind of medical complications I'm going to have. So, and I don't want to scare anyone. I really don't. But I just want to make sure people understand that this is real. So please, please make sure you guys are taking the necessary precautions. Do not take this lightly. Do what you have to do to protect yourself and protect your loved ones. And if you do get it, I pray that you only get a mild case. I pray that nobody has to come and be in and out of the hospital. But I just wanted to share my experience with it, and I do plan on making an updated video once I'm out the hospital to explain the after effects of me having COVID. But this is the first video that I've ever made, and I feel like I made my page a while ago, but I just never felt, I didn't know what to talk about. But now, going through this experience, I want people to know what it's like. I want people to know that it's real. And I pray for everyone out there who is having experience with COVID right now. And I pray that, anyone who's healthy stays healthy. If you guys have any questions or anything, please just let me know and I'll try to respond to them the best I can. But thank you for listening to my story, and I will be updating and letting everybody know how I'm doing. I've received a lot of prayers and a lot of love from a lot of people, so I appreciate all of that, and it's not doing nothing but making me better. So keep me in your prayers, and I will have you all in mind, and I will update you guys soon. Thank you.